Hello everyone, my greetings to one and all. This is the 13th session on estimation of national income. In the previous session, you have understood the relationship between various related aggregates of national income. After having understood these concepts, now it is easy to understand estimation of national income. I am Poonam Vohra from Macroeconomics Learning Center. In this session, you will understand how is national income estimated at constant prices and at current prices, and GDP deflator. So let us begin. National income estimation at constant prices is entirely different from national income estimation at current prices. Let's see how they are different. When national income is estimated at constant prices, then price of the base year and quantity produced in the current year is taken into account to estimate the money value. So it is called real national income. But when national income is estimated at current prices, then prices of the goods and quantity produced of those goods in the current year are taken into account in order to estimate the money value. That is called nominal national income. So one has to see, should national income be estimated at constant prices or at current prices? Which of the two is better? For this, let's have a look at the numerical example. Now try to understand the illustration. In a hypothetical economy, let's suppose three commodities are produced, commodity A, B and C. Quantity produced in the current year, that is Q1, for the three commodities is given. Price that prevails in the current year for the three commodities are also given. So Q1 and P1 represent quantity and prices that prevail in the current year. P0 represent price that prevails in the base year. So to find national income at the current year, quantity produced of the three commodities and the prices of these that prevail in the current year are taken into account. That is, one has to find Q1 P1. For commodity A, quantity produced is 1000 units at rupees 12 per unit. So the money value of commodity A is 12,000. For commodity B, 500 units are produced at price rupees 10 per unit. So the money value is 5,000. 500 into 10. For commodity C, 250 units are produced at rupees 12 per unit. So the money value is 3,000. So the national income would be the summation of money value of all the three commodities in the current year. That will be 12,000 plus 5,000 plus 3,000, which is 20,000. In order to find national income at constant prices, one needs to take into account quantity produced in the current year and prices that prevail in the base year. So for commodity A, it would be 1000 units produced in the current year at price rupees 7 per unit, which prevailed in the base year. So money value would then be 1000 into 7, that is 7,000. For commodity B, current year 500 units are produced, for which the base year price is rupees 6 per unit. So 500 into 6 would give us the money value that prevailed at the constant prices, which is 3,000. For commodity C, production is 250 units at rupees 8 per unit. So money value would be 250 into 8, that is 2000 in the base year. So national income at constant prices would be the summation of the money value of all the three goods. That is 7,000 plus 3,000 plus 2,000, which is 12,000. So one can have a look at the difference in the money value of the three goods produced by taking into account prices that prevail in the base year as well as prices that prevail in the current year. So the question is, which one of the two is a better index? After having understood the estimation of national income at current as well as at constant prices, one can observe that national income at current prices, that is 20,000, is much higher than at constant prices, which is 12,000. So there is a gap of 8,000, and this difference is mainly due to rise in prices and not due to increase in the quantity produced. So the value of 20,000 is the inflated value of national income. One can say that national income at current prices do not give the true picture of economic growth. So real growth of economy is measured only at constant prices. Hence, real GDP is better than the nominal GDP. Continuing further, let's now understand the concept of GDP deflator. GDP price deflator is an economic metric that helps determine price changes for all the goods and services produced in an economy. It includes all final goods, including exports, and does not include the price of any imports. It is important because it helps economists compare the nominal GDP with the real GDP, where nominal GDP is estimated by taking into account quantity of goods and services produced and their prices that prevail in the current year, whereas real GDP is estimated by taking into account quantity of goods and services produced in the current year and the prices of those goods and services that prevail in the base year, implying comparing the same production at different price levels. Once these are estimated, it then becomes easy to find GDP deflator, and the formula is nominal GDP divided by real GDP multiplied by 100. While estimating nominal and real GDP, there is a possibility of either positive or negative difference between these two. A positive difference implies that nominal GDP is greater than real GDP. In such a case, there would be inflation in the country. But in the case of negative difference, nominal GDP would be less than the real GDP. Then it would mean there is deflation in the economy. To have more clarity of this concept, we shall now concentrate on a numerical illustration. In this illustration, the quantity produced of two goods X and Y along with their prices are provided for year 2015, 2016 and 2017. 2015 is treated as the base year. You need to find out the GDP deflator for all the 3 years. Quantity of X in 15 is 200, in 16 it is 280, in 17 it is 350. Price of X is 4 per unit in 2015, increases to 5 per unit in 2016, further increases to 5.50 per unit in 2017. So far as quantity of Y is concerned, it was 300 in 2015, increased to 350 in 2016 and further 400 in 2017. Price of Y was rupees 2 per unit in 2015, which increased to 2.50 in 2016 and further to 4.50 in 2017. Now let's see how do we find GDP deflator. To find GDP deflator, one needs to first find nominal GDP, that is quantity produced and price of X plus quantity produced and price of Y that prevailed in 2015 is taken into account, which is 200 into 4 plus 300 into 2, it is 1400. Similarly, for 2016, it is quantity produced multiplied by price of X plus quantity produced by multiplied by price of Y is taken into account. That comes out to be 2275. And in 2017, quantity produced of X multiplied by its price plus quantity produced of Y multiplied its price is 3725. To find real GDP, one needs to take into account quantity produced of X in the current year multiplied by price that prevails in the base year plus quantity produced of Y in the current year multiplied by price that prevails in the base year, and we get 1400. Similarly, for 2016, quantity produced of X in the current year multiplied by price of the base year plus quantity produced of Y in the current year multiplied by price of the base year is taken into account, and we get 1820 as real GDP of 2016. Similarly, in 2017, quantity produced of X in the current year multiplied by price that prevails in the base year plus quantity produced of Y in the current year multiplied by price that prevails in the base year, and one gets 2200 as real GDP of 2017. Now one can find GDP deflator, which is nominal GDP 1400 divided by real GDP, which is also 1400, to be multiplied by 100. We get 100 as GDP deflator in 2015. It is a base year. For 2016, it is nominal GDP 2275 divided by real GDP, which is 1820 multiplied by 100, and we get 125 as GDP deflator of 2016. It implies that there has been an increase in price by 25% in 2016. For 2017, once again, nominal GDP 3725 divided by real GDP, which is 2200 multiplied by 100, and one gets 169 as GDP deflator in 2017, implying that there is a 69% increase in the prices in this year. Now assess yourself and solve this simple numerical. If real GDP is rupees 600 and nominal GDP is rupees 650, calculate price index. Check your answer. As I have been telling you each time, the first thing is to write down the formula. Then substitute values and you will get the answer. Here the formula is real GDP is equal to nominal GDP divided by price index into 100. So now one can substitute numerical values as given. That is 600 is real GDP is equal to 650 given as nominal GDP divided by price index into 100. It's simple. Now solve it and you will get the answer. Answer is price index is 650 divided by 600 into 100, which is 108.33. So with this, the session comes to an end. The next session would be on GDP and welfare. Till then, Keep reading and keep practicing. See you in the next session.